stories that I'm going to be telling today are very much related to the topic that I'm going to be teaching. So there's nothing like maybe it's not really relevant. It's very, very over relevant. Self is worrying it. Yeah, I just like this thing. It just cooperate and went to the right corner that I want it to be. I want to open my notes. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, anyhow you like the greeting. I'm very much excited because a lot of things have been happening around me. And me, it's just my nature. I don't know how to grow alone. I don't know how to grow alone. I believe in everybody growing together. Maybe I should say it's, it's an issue, but I think I love the I love the issue very much. Welcome, madam. And the things I did between November and now has really helped me to understand that most of the things that I'm teaching are relevant. Very, very relevant. So let me start by telling you what even happened this morning. Someone called me. Apparently, I got some opportunities, even funding opportunities. And this morning, someone called me. They need my assistance. See, one thing I want you to know. I'm not telling you how to cut clothes. I'm not. But you see, most of the things I started with for you this year are the things needed in funding. So once I'm done with this class, I'm going to start assisting this particular person to build vision, mission. There's something we were given called continuity plan. So this continuity plan, we are going to be writing our vision, mission, business history, business profile, business this, business that, all those things. She's giving up already on the grant. And I cannot watch her give up because it's an opportunity. My own BCP, I know they were not going to comment. It's only my financials that they assisted with. But my BCP, I know. When I was feeling it, when we went for our physical inspection, I told the lady, I said, don't worry, when I submit my BCP, you are not going to have issues with it. And lo and behold, there was no issue at all. I knew it. There was that United Nations, this thing that I was sharing yesterday on my status and WhatsApp. If you see the people in that class, there are some things that encourages me when I go for trainings. When I get to these trainings and I start seeing retired ambassador, retired honorable speaker, this coach that I look up to, this business consultant that I'm still saving money to pay, and I see them in that same class. I see bank MDs. I see, I'm like, what? So all this English that I'm putting together has given me the opportunity to sit side by side with top people, like with really top people. Let me allow me to speak. Do you want to say something, Sister Uche? Okay, I saw that you raised up your hand. So it has given me the opportunity to sit with top people, and it keeps letting me understand that most times it's not even about what I can cut and sew. It's about that communication. Now, the person that gave me that opportunity for the United Nations could not submit her own form. My other friend that was invited could not submit. Anybody that has opened will understand what I'm talking about. They couldn't submit because, number one, they could not, what do they call it? Their CV, because you are going to upload your CV, their CV was giving them challenges. Their business profile was giving them challenges. Those that we do the paid class, we get access to all those things. So those were giving them challenges. So they did not meet the deadline. So I told them, okay, I'm going to assist you. I'm the one compiling their profiles, giving them the tips, giving them the steps to build their profile and their CVs so that they can also submit. Because like Yoruba we talk now, one person know the chop make ground wide, and your call king jekile fair. One person alone cannot eat, and you see the whole ground will be full. It is when you have the opportunity, I have the opportunity, then we all grow together. That is my own belief. You can see these opportunities were the things, these little things that I'm telling you about are the criterias for getting access to even the funding opportunity. And I always like to use real life cases, real life scenarios. Oh, I'm not using my microphone. My microphone helped me filter out unnecessary noise. So I forgot to fix that. It's been a while. It's been almost 2 months. I will not be able to hear you, so, but I'm looking at your microphone. If it's not blinking, I will know. Yeah. So, in case you want to contribute, so the microphone helped me filter. I hope you can still hear me. Just unmute and mute. I will know that you said something. Can you still hear me? I'm looking at someone's microphone to blink. Okay, great. Mojisola, thanks for the sign. So you can see how not being able to communicate your business properly is the issue. And I also have been here. For those that knew me from the beginning, you would know that communication at a point was a challenge for me. Communication was a challenge for me at a point. And this is why I started dwelling, because most people that I was meeting, most business consultants that I was meeting, most business, what they call that I was meeting, they were all speaking some banking, some corporate world. Oh, sorry about that. They were all speaking some corporate world English that I do not think I need. So all this English were the things that were actually making me to start reading, to start understanding. So I started reading them. I started checking. Then I also use one or two fashion businesses as benchmark to see how I can improve in my own communication about my business. And this is the basis of being able to fund your business, like our topic for today suggests. It says creating financial strategies. Creative financial strategies, navigating funding options for fashion entrepreneurs. Those that have known me over the years, you know, one or two funding, whatever, that I will always recommend. But then I still saw the need that I should still do a little bit more in letting people understand this thing very well. So you'll be wondering why you work so hard and somebody that is not working as much as you are getting the opportunity. Just like in attraction, in meeting people, the first thing is some people check once they meet you, your beauty is the first thing that they will see. After the beauty, then they check your communication, then they start. So it's just like that. So the people that want to fund your business, the people that it is not, if it's someone in US that wants to fund your business, you don't expect the person to jump on the next flight to come and see your business. It is how you present your business, what you have, what you see. See, my darling sisters and brothers on this call, there are lots of opportunities. When people tell you there is money in Nigeria, they know what they are telling you. And the level of corruption in this country also has to do with the roles that we, the citizens, are playing. The United Nations scholarship is about women being able to have access to bidding. So when they want to create that space for women, that means some level of corruptions are dropping. Nigeria is changing. Africa is changing. We are 3 countries that the program is running in 3 countries in Africa for now. Africa is changing. So that means some people are watching to see that there is equal share. But then during the election, I keep wondering, people are clamoring, I want to vote this person. When this person comes in, there will be jobs, there will be opportunities. It's not like when the person becomes president, the person will start sharing money on the street. This person will not share money. You will still have to prove yourself worthy of getting access to that opportunity. And that is the basis. Your module 1, what we did in January, what we did in February, what we did in March, what we are doing currently are the basis of you having access. Please, there are these opportunities, funds, not even foreign funds, even local funds. They are there. You will only be able to communicate your business articulately if you put everything in place. See, the day you start writing all these things, putting all these things, you will be confident to talk. You will be looking for the opportunity to speak. The more knowledge you have, the more you can communicate, the more you have confidence to talk. I was looking for a particular funding, and the proposal that I wrote, people were surprised that it's my family that I'm writing that proposal to. The fact that this person is my uncle, somebody that would do anything for me, does not mean I should just pick my phone and say, hello, uncle, I need 10 million naira. I still have to let him understand step by step why, what I'm doing, what is my future plans. My business profile, future plan is there. You will find it there. So when we are talking about funding opportunities, please understand that the way you communicate, which is like the fundamental, putting your business together, you understand. So on my list here, my number 1 item is fundamentals of fashion business financing, the overview of the funding options and pros and cons for you. And the pro, what will give you upper hand is your ability to communicate your business. Even me that sits with you today, I still improve on it every day. I still improve on it. And then back to the story I was telling before others started joining. In November, I had a major challenge. Financials, losses, health challenges, all those things. And like I was saying, I'm this kind of person that naturally I motivate myself. So what now happened? Yeah, they were really things that were supposed to break me. I was even in a contribution, but I still continue self-discipline. I still continue to work hard to ensure that I pay this monthly fee. In fact, it was a tough situation, but something struck me. 2022, when I did Start and Grow Your Fashion Business, one of the biggest, is she still on the call? Okay, she left. I'm sure she'll be back. One of the biggest feedback that everybody is benefiting today, the person that gave that feedback was here with us this morning. In fact, it was much. She was like, come, if I'm in Lagos Business School, I will know I'm in Lagos Business School. Kilo day, on top of how much that we paid, this is too much. But part of the feedback that I got also was people being able to understand what they needed to do about their business. People beginning to understand that they need to apply for funding opportunities. At least those on the WhatsApp group last year, I shared 1, 2, 3, or 4 different people that got access to that got grants, that, a lot of things, scholarships, a lot got scholarships and all that. In fact, one even topped our class because she was able to just define her business. When they were doing vision, she stood up to talk about her business vision. And right there in the Bank of Industry class, they recommended other opportunities for her because they knew that she had that one thing that will let her get that funding option. So what did I now do in November? What in the middle of all these challenges? I said, okay, I've been helping people. Yeah, I'm after knowledge. So you will always see me fronting scholarships than funding. Because then I was just like, even if I get this funds, and how will I spend it? Because I also, back then, was looking for knowledge. I'm studying, I'm reading. I'm doing, in fact, this period, I used to say in my life that God help me before I teach, before I study. I have real life projects that I'm working on. I have an innovation that has not been done that I'm working on, self-funded. It will be out once I'm done. So all these things, then I'm like, okay, if I've been helping people get all these things, let me try it out for myself again. Because there was so much for me to do. So I was not applying for scholarships again, because writing all these notes that I'm using for classes have not been easy, to be candid, because I have to ensure they are original. Even while using AI, ChatGPT, or what's this, my favorite one that I use again, copy.ai, different things like that I use. Despite using them, I still have to ensure that they are not generic ideas. So you still have to sit down, read everything one after the other, bring in real life scenarios. There were lots, so I was not applying. So I sat down, I created my profile, my personal profile, business profile, my vision, mission, everything. I put them together. I applied for, I think, 4 opportunities or 5, and I got 3 major ones. There are other ones. Some I don't actually need them, because I did something for myself last year also. I started attending pitch events. You will see me, whether it's 100,000 naira grant, I'll be there. I won't apply, I'll be there. EDC programs, I'll be there. So once they are done, I walk up to the panels and I ask them, what are the criteria for selecting? So they give me the criteria, I note them down, because those are the things that I'm using as a guide in my business now. So I was doing all those things. So from all those guides, I now started applying. I applied for AWEC, the African Women Entrepreneurship Cooperative Program. That program is a big deal for women entrepreneurs in Africa. Like, really top shots. They work so hard. 2 of my coaches didn't get in. They were even telling me, Sirika, next year you're going to tell us how you got this opportunity. I sat down, I wrote all these things, and I was surprised. I got in. I applied for a particular funding by play. That is the list of all the funding opportunities I ever expected. And I got in. I applied for another Lagos state project. It's not funding for business, it's funding for projects. That is the most amazing of all the opportunities that I got. I got this opportunity on a 2-way base. Number one, I got this funding opportunity. It's for Fashion Powerhouse anyway, so everybody here are going to benefit once the fund is released. It is for me to train, because this training program consumes, it looks like I just sit down here. It consumes a lot of time, money, and all that to do all these things. So I had to seek for that funding. So it's a state project supported. So now I got this on a 2-way ground. I attended an event, and I did not, unknown to me, the person behind the project was the person I was talking to. I did not know. I only got to know on the day we did interview. Elevator speech. When they tell you elevator speech is for you to be able to sell your business within 60 seconds. I just walked up to him and I told him, okay, I need this, your product. He came for another product. So that was the product I needed because I need external funding. I need passive income. So I told him, this is what I need. I need something that will be fetching me money because of Fashion Powerhouse. So while asking for that, I told him what I was doing. That I do this for fashion entrepreneurs. I saw this gap in the industry. This research by McKinsey did this, because I research a lot before I lay my hands on projects. And the same thing, the other project I'm working on. No, even publications in Nigeria, I only get publication. The experiment has not been done. So possibly we, because anything me has become we, may be the first set of people to test that experiment in Nigeria. There are publications, but the experiment has not been done. So I'm working on it. I'm spending a lot over millions on this project, self-funded. We are talking about funding. So permit me to give you all these real life stories. So doing all these projects, putting heads together, doing all these things, I was just telling him the story, those things I did. And he just faced me, was like, this is fantastic. This is what we want. And you think there's no opportunity in Nigeria? There are opportunities. It's because we've not prepared ourselves to be able to talk to the right people. So I told him, he said, why haven't you applied for this? I said, I've applied. And he just asked me, what is my name? And I responded. That's all. I could not talk to him because I don't misuse opportunity. The fact that I know you does not mean I will choke you. And I just got my email and I got there and I did my interview. You understand? But that is it. I applied and I pitched unknowingly, directly. You don't know who is sitting beside you. Always prepare. Preparation is what will give you that opportunity. That is number one on my list. Then the second one, this my naughty kekere has come to switch off. Sorry, permit me to mute. My light accidentally went off, so I need to bring it back on. Okay, so that's the first on my list, the fundamentals, which is why I gave you this story. Then the second one is crafting a winning business plan. You might have not started business plan. You might have not owned it. But part of, in your business plan, there is the executive summary, there is this, you can hear the continuity plan that I'm still going to. I charge, they pay. At least for me to start, you pay me 20,000 naira. That's the least that I charge people for writing their profile. The least is 20,000 naira. After that, if we are going to business plan, sometimes 50, sometimes 100, I charge. Because these things are what they read. They don't have interest in your face. What they need is how you can tell, how they can look at your business from explanation till the end and understand that you are successful in your business. That is one thing that matters when it comes to this. So even if you don't have the business plan yet, at least start practicing what is in it, because there are different components in business plan that will make your business plan stand. Your financials, your future plan, your risk assessment, all those are in business plan now. There's business plan, there's continuity plan, risk assessment, If COVID happened tomorrow, how will you continue business? All those things, you have to start putting them together, because this is what will happen when I even come to you that I need funding. You understand? So now, let me see. We now go to the 4 types of funding. Is it 4 or 5? I think I have 4 or 5 before we wrap up. So the first is your money. Most common. That is what most of us actually like depending on. This is my money. That is bootstrapping, when you have to work your way to start it. And it's usually like that, because when you're starting business, at times it doesn't make sense to most of the people that you're talking to. It doesn't make sense to them. So you have to continue your business before they start saying it, even your customers. You understand? Even your customers, at times, you have to show that your business is working. So first and foremost is bootstrapping. And how can you bootstrap properly? Is discipline. You need to have a vision, then you need to be disciplined. See, it is not for anybody to see it. That is why it is your vision. Nobody will write your business plan without you. Even if I'm going to, I got a client last month. Oh my God. She does not have a lot of ideas about business. Even at that, I still need to ask her certain questions, because by the time I write your vision, mission, profile, it has to make sense to you. Where are you going? Hey, where are you going? What do you want to do? What do you want to become? Where is your business going to? Where is your business going to? Where are you taking yourself to? All those things are very important, because when that thing that you are afraid to tell people outside, when you tell me, there are certain questions that I will ask you that will make it make sense, and it may just be one of the things that will boost it. I used to tell people something: fear anybody that is silent suddenly in business. Fear them. You will see a business, and I keep using Chicken Republic. Chicken Republic is one of my biggest motivation in this story. I remember 2014, when my wards just started living with me, and I wanted to entertain her on this particular day. So I said, let me go get her Chicken Republic rice and chicken. And I got into the Chicken Republic rice in a store in Aja. When I got there, I'm like, in fact, the rice was not much. I think there was no rice. I think we only got chicken and ice cream. I remember how the image of that place. And in the next few months, oh my God, it was like it's only Chicken Republic that was in Nigeria at that point. Everybody can testify. Their strategy, their bounce back strategy, the things, as in they understood the market they were going into. They understood their target customers. They understood their mindset. They understood their psychology, everything. And then, anytime I pass in front of Chicken Republic, I am just always motivated. Motivated. Because I salute. And I always talk about, it's not a paid advert. I'm just inspired. It is something that I love. So when you see some businesses at times, or business owner, there is a part of my business now that will make me go silent on social media. So you may see me posting jokes. It's a strategy, because I need to keep short. It happens. Then at times, what we see in January may be different from what we see in February. And then you realize that what you saw in February makes sense. Then you start preparing yourself. And this is why at times you see people funding themselves from the beginning. So like I said, your vision and self-discipline are the things that will work for you when you are bootstrapping. Because discipline means you understood that you need 1 million and you understood that you have to save. You understood that you have to starve at times, not starving that will affect you, starving in the space of maybe giving yourself certain break, so that maybe you eat out a lot, you reduced it. Maybe you eat 10 chicken on one meal, you reduce it to 2, just so that you can save. That's bootstrapping, self-discipline. It is your money, your personal savings, your salary, your income, your profits that you have to put aside to fund. Even if you are the one funding, you still have to be truthful to yourself. That's number one. Then the second one is family and friends. Your family and your family and friends don't assist a lot. In fact, I get that. And I want to let you know, if you're taking notes, please take notes very well. There's no slide. This is reality. I like talking about funding without slide. Look at my face. Look at the emotions. Look at the reality that is coming out. You understand? Your family and friends, don't take them for granted. Number one, let's talk about you. You are coming to me for fund. What reputation about fund do you have with me? A friend once, an acquaintance, not actually a friend per se, once needed fund and she was fraudulently raising the fund. She was in my room when she was planning it. And I need 10,000 naira now. What should I do? You see why when you see some people don't pay attention to all these broadcasts, it's not their fault. This is real life scenario. I'm not fabricating the story. And she just picked her phone and started sending broadcasts that she has this friend that has this challenge. She's trying to help, blah, blah, blah. People should send, even if it's 1K, 2K. And I got the message. I was on that broadcast list. I just laughed. Something you mentioned right in front of me. And I told her that no, that is not how to go about it. In fact, I really worked on her for those 6 months. It was not easy for her, but glory to God. She's a good businesswoman today. That's like 2013 or 2014. That's one. So tomorrow, if that person, then, I'm not talking about even now, should now send a broadcast to me that there is fire on the mountain and our shop is affected, do you expect me to give you money? The little things that you do, people are counting it now. What is your spending culture? I do a bit of marriage counseling, you know. It's even in my profile. I do a bit of women counseling, women. I focus mostly on women. And when we are talking with some of them are this kind of people that cannot sit with even their spouses or partner to plan. They only know how to spend. They want to let their friends know that, me, any amount. Then your husband or your partner opens a business and you expect that person to put you as the CEO. It will not work. One of the women that I learned from, my customers, one of them, she is the heartbeat of her husband's business. At a point, she withdrew. That was how I got to know. So then she started her business and she was always coming to my place. And I was like, and they're like, don't mind him, Jerry. That in fact, I don't want to do business with him again. Blah, 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 like that. Because I know the husband is also like an uncle to me. And then after a year, she was back in the business. Then I asked her, Auntie, but you said you're not going back to the business. She now told me and my friend is in Canada now. And that day we got a very beautiful lecture from her. She said, well, our husband said, since she left the business, he has been spending anyhow. That his financials have been bad. That is a husband to wife. Because people wonder why this man loves this ugly woman. People wonder why this man loves this. You understand? You don't know that there are certain things that this woman that is not attractive to you or this man that is not attractive to you does that makes their partners like them. So when she is in the business, there is control over his expenses. There is control over a lot of things. There is order. And that is it. Then she told us something. I said, so you're the one that who gives all these millions to? He said, yes. She said, your husband will give you all his money if you are the kind of woman that does not spend from that money. She said she has friends that if their husband should try that with, the first thing they will do is to remember the next jewelry they need to buy, is to remember the next vacation. Vacation money will come. Discuss among yourself allowances. She said, but if her husband should give her 1 million, he will meet the 1 million right there. He will meet it right there. So remove it for me. Remove the cord. This one. Remove it for me. That he will meet his 1 million there. And if he's going to spend it, she spend from that money in the right way. Not unnecessarily. Not buying shoes and bags when it's not called for. So tell me, when such woman, what removed? Oh, you spelled it. Okay, no problem. When such woman needs something from that kind of man, you won't be surprised that he will give her. So before you tag your family and friends as bad, what exactly is your reputation when it comes to spending with them? Until I spend, it's about the sound. Because your reputation with them will let them understand how much they are going to spend on your business. Okay. So, and that was the situation with that my customer. So your friends that you are going out with, don't underestimate what they are checking. You are going out with these friends, you did not know that they are watching you. You are in a family, you did not understand that they are watching you. You just think that that uncle does not like you, that auntie does not like you. No, they like you. But the thing is, they know that there will be no returns, even for you. There is this friend of mine that I'm so glad to talk about her. I can even mention her. When she was starting her business, her brother-in-law gave her the loan. She submitted business plan to her brother-in-law. He gave her the loan, I think 100,000 naira or 150,000. She did the business. She made a profit of about 300,000. It was a trade fair, a week-long trade fair. I can't remember, what 3 days trade fair. It was this Lagos International Trade Fair. She did the program. She returned the money. When she got there, the guy now said, no, I actually did not borrow you this money. I gave you the money. And that was how our business, you will see, she goes to fairs anyhow. In fact, that's our own business strategy for sales. She does not wait for customers to come. She attends fairs every now and then. So that is it for family and friends. It's not just about saying family and friends are not giving you money. It is. Let me see if I can quickly share while we are talking. Let me see so that I can share the one I sent to the one that I shared with my own family. Let's see. Grant something. Okay. I'm going to quickly remove some details from the slide while I share. So your friends and family, let them know that you mean business, that you are up to the task. Then you will see if they will not give you the money or not. So I'm quickly going to share my screen now. So I want to remove something because this is a public thing. So I just, okay, yeah, I think it's good. Let me share my screen now for you to see. For you to see what I'm talking about. So this is something I'm submitting for my own uncle. You can see what it is, how I presented it. Sorry, I'm trying to navigate. So you can see it was submitted to family, not to an outsider. You can see the way I even introduced myself. You can see my request, why my request should be granted, what I want to buy. Though these are not the things I'm using it for. I just created this one. It's just so why this, what it should not cover, my SDGs, appreciation, everything. You can see the way I presented it. It does not mean that because this person is your family or your friend, then you should take that privilege for granted. That's how it works for family and friends. Then loan. One thing about loan is that loans are good. Loans solve immediate issues, like anything urgent, pressing needs. Those are some of the things that loans solve. But then you need to understand if you need loan. Loan also works with financial discipline. If you are not the kind of person that can put money aside, it will be difficult for you to be able to repay loan. Like this grant, actually I did not even push for it. At the end of the day, I did not need it anymore because a particular money that I was expecting was now paid. So I didn't eventually use it. But the fact is, the fund that I'm looking for, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay, let me just go back to loan. One thing is, yeah, what I wanted to say. So I told there's a lady that I do contribution with. So I just called, I said, in case, if I need a guarantor, maybe I'm not using my uncle, I need you to be my guarantor. And I told her the reason. I said, why you will be my guarantor is you're the only one that can talk about my financial discipline. Because I have contributions with you and I don't default. I had to discipline myself for a while before I started getting loans. I had to get to the point that I know parting with 50K is not an issue. Parting with 100,000 monthly is not an issue. Parting with 200,000 monthly is not an issue. I had to move myself to that point. So when I got to that point was when I now did what? I now started thinking about loan. I've gotten like 2 family and friends loan this year. I prefer those loans because they don't actually come, they don't come with too much thing. Yeah, I'm trying to improve my life. Yeah, okay, it's better now. So I prefer those funds because they don't come with too much terms and conditions, too much collateral, anything. Then they don't come with uh, what do they call it? Interest. Most times, family and friends loan don't come with interest. But I know somebody that will give me money, but will not give my cousin money. If my cousin needs 10K from this person, 10,000 naira, she will not give. This is the same person that gave me 800,000 naira last week for a project. You understand? Because they know that their money is safe. So loans can be still for family and friends and can still be for bank, finance houses, cooperative, but you have to have the mindset. I'm not bringing in all the jargons here. I'm talking heart to heart. First, it starts with you. Then, after loans, whatever loan you want to get, we will present itself with you with the terms and conditions that will work. See, unless if your business is not growing, that's where you will not need funding. If you are thinking greatness, bigness, expansion, the point when you will need funding will always present itself. Some of the projects that I'm working on, I need grant too, please. But there are some, if I wait for grant, it will stay long. I need investors. Like investors. As at yesterday, I was still talking to somebody. That's how in the next 2 months, I'll be coming to you with this product. This is business deal. They will ask for percentage. So me, I will keep my money and come and fund you with 100 million naira. You now think there will be nothing there for me. So if you are thinking of bringing in investor, you have to have the mindset of sharing. And that is the biggest. Anybody that wants to, don't envy somebody that got $100 million funding, $1 billion funding. If you don't have the mindset of sharing, don't even come. I was at an event when he was telling people that there is nobody in this room that is truly ready to be a billionaire. Many people did not understand what he meant. They're like, no, why won't I be? It's true. Because when you want to be that billionaire, then a lot of things will change about you. A lot. That has nothing to do with sales. Because when it comes to that expansion, you can't become Dangote alone. You can't own that refinery alone. Imagine Transcorp, when the saga came out, you can see what the top people in Nigeria, the tiny percentage that they own, 7%, 9%. And that qualifies them as billionaires. That it is. That is just how it works. So you have grants, you have bootstrapping, you have family and friends that can be in form of grants and loan. You have grants, external grants. Grants are very beautiful, but grants are very strict because it is free money. So you have to start learning how to ensure that money for anytime I get grants, I tell my family, there is no suya money there. Oh. That's my own language of making fun. There was a grant I got in 2019. It was even an open grant. I think there was an issue with the grant. And when I got my money, I was like, I got the money. I'm calling my consultants. The person is not picking up my call. What should I do? They were like, do anything with the money, but ensure you put it in your business. Yes, the language came like that. But it's a grant. If they trace it back to your account, they want to ensure that the transaction that came out at that period goes for that thing that you want to use it for. And grants come in different forms. There are non-equity grants and there is equity grants. Equity grant means you are going to pay some money. So some will be like, hey, if they want to give me money, they should give me money. What's it that I have to pay 10%? Even in scholarships, they will tell you counterpart fund. You pay 10%, you pay 50%. I'm on a grant of 50%. You understand? So there are different grants, and some is non-equity. They give you 100%, but grants comes with terms and conditions. And the terms and conditions are what I've spent 30 minutes in the beginning talking about. So please, as we are wrapping up, because it's 10 a.m., for now, I have to stick with time. I have so much on my table. That's why it has to be daily. I appeal. We are covering April class. We have to cover the May class. Then the June class can be towards the end of June. I need time. 24 hours is becoming difficult for me. And most of the things that I'm doing are still new. So I cannot, I've not started employing in that aspect yet. So it's tailoring staff, home staff, and the one for my small documents. But my new project, I'm just building the team. So I'm looking for plenty of time, time to borrow to add. So we have to do. So please, those things I talk about in the beginning are very important. Your business profile, your business plan, your business continuity plan, your vision. Okay, those ones are under your business profile. Your business profiling is very, very important. Please, very, very important. So pay attention to it. If you need my help, I'm here. Terms and conditions apply anyway, but I'm here. Then for those that are going to be in the, someone paid before I went on my break already. Someone already made a own payment. So you'll be getting the slides and everything, some guides. I'm going to be releasing some templates for those in the paid class. Please, I beg. If you did the first paid class, please go back and answer those questions. You need them. You will need them. If you are not part of it, if you make payment, all the slides are there. Answer those questions. Your SWOT analysis. See, SWOT analysis, the one I'm submitting today, so there's SWOT analysis there. They will tell us to write our business SWOT analysis. It is funding opportunities. They come with terms and conditions, strict terms and conditions. There's SWOT analysis there. So please, don't say because it is SWOT analysis, it doesn't matter. It matters. Put it down. When everybody were rushing their own plan, I was relaxing, because some of the reasons why I was on break was that my laptop had issues. And my laptop is not easy to replace. It's very, 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 very expensive. It's over ₦1 million. So I had to repair. So I could not work. Most of my files were there. I could not sit on the PC. The PC was something else. I'm so used to the sleek life that my laptop gives me. So I couldn't use the PC. So they had to go and repair it. And because it's a delicate laptop, it took them, I think, about 3 or 4 weeks before in fact, I had to give consent to a partial damage before they finally fixed it. That they could not get the, is this touch screen or what's that first layer? So I had to give them a consent of a crack, that there may be a crack. I had to sign that agreement. So once they get the screen, then not the main screen, the one, I've forgotten the name they call it, then I'm going to return it, then they will change it for me. That was part of the reason why I was quiet. So I could not even submit them. And I told the lady, I said, don't worry, my plan will not give you issues. I was so confident. Immediately I got my laptop. The following day I was done. Yesterday when they returned my assessment, they told me, I said, does my plan have issues? They said, no, it was perfect. That's the response. It was only the financials that they just did a little adjustment for me. That's all. But the other two forms, no help. I wrote enough details, enough. Answered everything correctly. So please don't say because I'm teaching Maslow hierarchy of need. Maslow hierarchy of need will help you to know your target audience, understand yourself, understand where you need to improve, where you're going, everything. It will help you. They are all very important because all these things will start helping you to think right, then you'll be able to focus properly and explain. And you see, when I started attending business school, they used to tell me something that your vision, mission, everything should be exciting. I didn't know. I used to be like, well, there's not just to write 1, 2 letter word. Very soon now, my vision will be on the artwork that will be at my back. But now it's making sense because my business vision, mission, and everything is beginning to make sense. Check my profile on WhatsApp. You will see that there is a way I even used to introduce myself now. Yes, if you start doing the right thing, it will be exciting. So thank you very much. And that is where I'm wrapping up today. I need questions, responses. Please, if you want to talk, let me know. I allowed everybody to speak already. If you have questions for me.
Good morning, ma. I don't know
Who
if she can hear.
do we have?
Good
Oh,
morning, ma.
Mr. Yeah, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good, ma. Thank you so much for the class. I
And
really appreciate.
thank you as well. I'm seeing results on your
Okay.
page, the way you always introduce yourself. I'm seeing results. Keep it up. That's one of the people that have been giving me feedback since 2021. And thank you very much for always appreciating my work.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, ma. I really love what you mentioned this morning. Of course, our vision is very important because I'm working on this business plan. You know, I shared you one of my business plan.
Yes, last year. In fact, I
Uh,
was still looking at it last week. Yes, it's still on my laptop.
so there was another one that I'm still writing. So I think I will still share that one to you when I'm done with it. Because
Good.
because all what you have been teaching us has been really helpful. Like seriously. I don't even take that for granted. Even when I have any issue, I have to go back to my notes. So take it back, retake it, sit down again, then jot another thing down. As in your classes, I was really impressed. Like seriously, thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
And
thank
thanks
you,
for the
thank you,
feedback.
thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. It's important because the opportunities are massive. You will see, as they're doing it now, you'll be so confident that even if they tell you federal government is doing something, you will apply and you will get it. It is until recently that I realized that even as a small business, you are not expected to fund your business all through its life cycle. Like it is part of business that when you start, you bootstrap, you get family and friends. Then when it gets to expansion, you look for, if you go for all this investors training, when they are training us on how to get investors, like top trainings like that, they bring real consultants for all those trainings for us. They will tell you all this business life cycle. They'll tell you that they expect you to fund at a point. They expect you to find, even when there is one that was feeling, there was a team that they had to create, and I had to head that team. So that team, they gave us different options, how we raised funds so far. They write it, founders fund, there is family and friends, there is grants, there is investors, all those things, venture capitalists, angel investors. They gave different options. So when they were now, they did a training for us, so they bring some international consultants like that. And when they were training us, they now explained that at a point in your business, you can no longer fund it to your taste. And you cannot go for loans or all that. You're expected to get grants. The money is there. Then at a point, grants may not just come to you, or the grants are no longer enough. $5,000, $2,000 are no longer big money for you again. So you are now looking at $20 million. Then there are some criteria, Even there is a particular scholarship that I'm looking forward to. My income has to be up to 40 million naira before I can get that scholarship. Above 40 million naira. There is another one, my income has to be above 100 million before I can access. There are scholarships. Okay. So you can see the criteria that they give us before we can have access to all these kind of trainings. Because even when you start handling those kind of money, that means your mindset should have changed. You understand? There is a way they check it. There are people that turn over even to 10 million in a month. They will still not give them that scholarship, because there is a way they still access all these businesses. Some business income, they are stronger than themselves, even though you can be earning 50 million and there's no profit, and you're earning 10 million and there's profit. So there are still ways by which they check it. I know how I can turn over all those things, but I need to profitably turn it over. So when you are accessing grants and loans and all that, they check your profit and loss. So your accounting, I think there is a bit of accounting that I want to teach in the just basics that I want to teach along this line. So by then I will talk more, but your financials are very, very important, your records. So during that, I'm going to break down the records, even if you're not using accountants for now, the records you need to pay attention to. Like, pay very much attention. Then I'll introduce you to some apps that you're going to use. I've paid my price before I knew all these things. Even the accountants were not helping. They tell you there's no app that can do it. But this thing, if you do it that way, you'll be able to do it. At the end of the day, you'll be able to present something. You understand? And those things have really worked for me to understand my expenses. So that's just it. Any other person for me? I'm waiting. Mojisola is busy today. That's why she did not have my time. Madam Uche, I appreciate you staying all through. Adebumi, thank you very much. Madam Verena, thank you. Madam Adedoyin, I see you too, all through. Madam Ruth, Madam Deborah, Madam Augustina, Madam Saida. People are tick people. Madam Jane, Honorable Oluwafemi. I think Adebisi is also a madam. Yes, so I appreciate your being here, and those that came in and couldn't stay all through. And Team Replay, thank you also, because, you know, over the years, I've realized that people that watch replays are more than those that come to the class. But please, fashion entrepreneurs, we have so many opportunities. And our industry is just blooming. It is just blooming. Go for opportunities. Yep, so thank you. In the absence of any comments, I will be calling it a day. Let me stop recording. See you again tomorrow. What do we have tomorrow, Seth? Let me check. It's a goal. I have to fulfill it. I've promised myself that I'm going to do it this year. So I have to fulfill it, no matter the break. And God just know how to test us. When you give goal like this, oh, this one, the people that are going to be doing the paid class, they are the ones that will enjoy the class for tomorrow. It's a checklist, just like what we are doing. It's a checklist as the business. So those are the things that you will need. It's a short class, so I may even combine 2 classes tomorrow. So it's a short class. I noticed that part of the challenges that I face as a entrepreneur was not having someone to give us those lists. Yes, even a top person that I was talking to wanted to train me something. Give me a checklist of where you are taking me to. There's no checklist. You understand? So checklist like that is very important. And while I was signing into the AWEC platform yesterday, that was even what I wrote. You know, the welcome message we were asked to write about is what is our biggest regret? And my regret was, what I wrote was, in the earliest days of my business, my regret was that I missed some opportunities because I didn't understand most of the things I was telling you about. Yes. So that's part of what makes me what I'm doing today. So anybody that is just starting, congratulations, because you are starting right. Anybody that spends their first year of business putting their business together, I salute that person. Because they told us in the class yesterday that if I should ask that, how many of you understood business before starting business? Maybe 1 to 5%. So if you have someone to tell you about business before you start business, man, or when you are just starting, congratulations, because okay, by your fifth year, you will have data, like data. Ask people like us, how many dresses have we done in our entire business? We don't know. But the people that are starting now, we let them know that they should know. Do you know what it means to tell a story about your business, stating the exact number of dresses that you've done? Like, do you think the form you are filling is a joke? In fact, most of the details, I've not checked it. It's only 2 that I know I always use. All those pain points, because I'm using them to prepare future programs. You know, next year is another program, upper year is another program. It's a 5-year journey for me. Please, data matter. You see, I'm always impressed when I get to some website and you see 100 business trained, 5 business done, 5 business connected, 10 business. Just imagine 100 that should be made, 5 brides catered for, 10. That's great. That's wonderful. So if you're just starting and understanding all these things, kudos. By the time you're counting 14 years in business like us, you're counting strong. Like very, very strong. Let me stop recording.